From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big Saturday morning with great news about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. In today's recording, we go over the breaking news unfolding late yesterday as a series of major Democrats who are responsible for writing the fourth stimulus package are telling the president in a writing they're putting multiple stimulus checks in there. Wow. In this recording, we go over the four stimulus checks, how much you're going to get it, and why there's not one but three major breaking news stories this week about those monthly stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Then the second half of this recording, we go over fifth stimulus. That'll raise your benefits if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and rural benefits. And then in the middle of this recording, we go over the big money that is landing in your bank account, some today and more on Monday. It's a great morning. The toast is toasting. The butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and I'm very excited to deliver you this great news on your fourth stimulus checks, starting right now on Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Saturday morning, and this is Mornings LALATE, live from Los Angeles. Hope you are wonderful and safe. How's the weather where you are? Tell me where you're watching and how's the weather. It is sunny, clearly, here today in Santa Monica. Warm, but still wonderfully pleasant. And I'm very excited for you to join me on the incredible great news, breaking news about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. In today's recording, we're going to go over how much you're going to get, when you're going to get it. And in the middle of this recording, we're going to go over the breaking news, not one, but three major breaking news stories about the statements to the president in a letter saying that stimulus checks will be multiple and in the fourth stimulus package. Incredible, great news. In the second half of this recording, we're going to go over fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits if you're on SSI, SSDI, veterans benefits, and survivor benefits starting this fall, and the new benchmark. That's inflation and how much it could raise your benefits, a lot more than we initially thought. And in the middle of this recording, we're going to go over the big money that's automatically landing in your mailbox as early as today. Very exciting. This is LALATE, your 24-hour a day, 7 days a week financial news channel, the only one of its kind, live in the morning, like now, tape in the afternoon, like this afternoon, and then overnight with our overnight live crypto broadcast, which just ended. And it was the most watched show we have ever done on this channel over a 12-hour broadcast. It absolutely blew it out of the water. So make sure you subscribe. 400,000 subscribers in 1 year for a reason. Next up, 1 million. Also, like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's get right to fourth stimulus, starting with how much you're going to get. And one of the names I want you to remember is the name Jalapal. So Jalapal wrote the House bill, which would provide monthly stimulus checks. Let's go over how Jalapal's language of that bill read compared to the Senate proposal. If you're in the live chat just after 9:20 on the West Coast or 12:20 on the East Coast, get ready to vote House or Senate, but not just yet. Let's look and see how Jalapal wrote this. So Jalapal wrote this as the following. Jalapal wrote it as stimulus checks for every month for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. Slightly different than the Senate proposal. The Senate proposal provides stimulus checks for a shorter duration. And let's go over all those details starting right now. So the Jalapal proposal would provide a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The question is whether the pandemic's ending. The Senate proposal provides a stimulus check for July to December. So slightly different. What's really at issue here is when we look at the monthly payout between the two. The the House proposal is $1,000 the first month, $2,000 thereafter. And the Senate proposal, the amount is unknown, but word on the street is it's a lot of money. Word on the street is it's $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. So let's recap. The Jalapal proposal is pandemic plus 1 year. But here's where the twist is occurring, is that many are now believing that potentially the pandemic would be over by the time Jalapal's bill goes to a vote in July. So that means that Jalapal would provide you 12 months of stimulus checks, just 1 year, not pandemic plus 1 year. 12 months of stimulus checks from Jalapal under the House proposal would amount to $13,000. So $13,000 over 12 months compared to potentially $12,000 over 6 months from the Senate. Which one do you like? I think you're going to say Senate. Vote now. Senate versus House. Senate versus House. I'd love to see your comments. All right, let's go over the other details that you need to know about forced stimulus. First, who's going to get it? You are. So if you got the third stimulus check, you get the fourth stimulus check. If you make less than $75,000, single individual, you get the fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get it. Just double it. If you are on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, you get the fourth stimulus check. And then a household 4 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Just quadruple it. And yes, if the household is 5, one of the members would not get a stimulus check. How is our stimulus checks income? They are not. They're not taxable. Would they come in waves? No, they would not come in waves. Remember, I'm a reporter. I just report the news. I'm not a representative. The legislators are making the representations, and they represent the vote would be by July 4th. So that means the first stimulus check would be in the month of July for the month of July, in the month of August for the month of August, continuing thereafter. There could be no waves of stimulus checks. Is it taken out for child support? We don't know just yet. And then the amount would be the same for single individuals, adult dependents, and minor, and everyone else. Incredible, great news. That's your fourth stimulus check. But remember that name, Jalapal, because it's coming up with the breaking news in just a second. And this breaking news is just 1, 2, 3 letters. It keeps on growing. It's so incredible, this great news. So I got more about that in a second, but first, let me give you a preview of the second half of this recording. In the second half of this recording, we're going to go over fifth stimulus, which is in September. And that is like fourth stimulus, a 2-bill, 2-step process that adds in SSI and SSDI reform for veterans as well. What's important to understand is that they also add an inflationary benchmark. Now there's new indications that inflation rates could go through the roof by December. So I'm going to have all the incredible great news about that in the second half of this recording. So get a pen and paper ready, because this is a full 30-minute morning's broadcast. I got a lot of money for you in this show, a lot of money. I want you to get all this money. I want you to not miss a beat on anything, and we're going to get to it starting right now. So the incredible great news is I have fortunes of money for you to get. Some of it automatic and some of you have to do some, and we're going to get to the first one right now. When the third stimulus package was passed in the spring, I informed you that, yes, you're going to get a $1,400 stimulus check, but you're also eligible for anywhere from about $5,000 to $25,000 on top of that. And what is that? Well, it's now landing. And it starts with rent. $350 billion of rent has now landed your city, counties, and states across the country, and more is landing next week. It's about $5,000 of rent for you, about 4 to 6 months of rent. And then you could get money for utilities, which is a couple hundred to a couple thousand, money for mortgage help if you own a home, and then money for homeowners' utilities. Incredible great news. So where do you get this $5,000 for rent approximately? 6 places. Hope you got that pen and paper ready. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. Reach out to them, and the key words you're going to use is rent assistance because of COVID. Don't say stimulus. There you go. Then I want you to get that money, about $5,000 for rent. So now let's turn to the second great item. And I don't go a single day without a viewer saying, I got money for rent or I got money for you for SNAP. Thank you. So what's SNAP? You can get upwards of $16,000 for SNAP for a family of 4. Boy, so SNAP is money for food. SNAP is administered by the Department of Agriculture. How do you get it? Reach out to Department of Agriculture or 211 and get connected to Department of Agriculture. How do you, and how much is it? And are you eligible for it? Yes, if you qualify for a stimulus check, you're generally eligible for SNAP. And now it's about $16,000 for a family of 4 out of Hawaii. Why so much? Because of 2 executive orders. One from Biden, one from Trump, that raised everyone's SNAP benefits. Someone asked yesterday, is it everyone? Yes, everyone. And someone also asked till when? Till December, from January to December. So go get it. And wow, we are only 10 minutes into this video, and we've already seen $5,000 for rent and about $16,000 for SNAP in Hawaii. We're just getting started. We're just getting a groove on here. But I got more money for you in just 1 second. But first, two reality check moments. Reality check moment number one, which is that the money for rent and utilities and food and homeowners assistance is the biggest single payout you ever see in the history of this channel. And I want you to get it. Because when the fifth third sin was passed, I said, I want you to be a purple hawk, and get it before anyone pounces. Or before the stimulus stampede runs in, blah, 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 and gets it before you. Because it's first come, first serve. Major reality check. Second reality check is that it's not going to be offered again. It's not coming back under forced stimulus. So eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance, those things are not coming back. So get it right now. And with that, you are owed some free money, and I'm going to get to free money number one and free money number two. First, free money number one. Thousands of dollars. In the case of one viewer, it's $5,000 is being returned back from your state. Let me go over how much it is, how you're going to get it, and when you're going to get it. First, how much is it? It's thousands of dollars. And what is it? The federal government has stepped in and ordered states to return back to you money that the states had asked you to return to them. What is this money? It's the case of which states were paying unemployment recipients money on a weekly basis, and then suddenly there was an excess payment caused by a computer malfeasance, generally in the thousands of dollars. States reached out to recipients and said, return it back to us, and they did. Well, the federal government has stepped in and said, that was an error. The recipients, you, the viewer, should have been able to keep the money. And now the states have been ordered to return the money back to you. Incredible, great news. So how do you get the money? In the account that you have on file for your unemployment. And when are you getting it? Every state is different. So reach out to your respective state for routing times. All right, now let's get to that second big free money. I had one viewer get $2,000 on that just a few days ago. It's incredible, great news. And it's coming back from the federal government. First, let's go over how much it is. Then we're going to go over how you're going to get it. And then finally, when you're going to get it. Okay, first, how much is it? It's all the unemployment tax, all the taxes you paid on your unemployment benefits to IRS. The IRS is now sending back to you that portion of the taxes that was for the unemployment benefits you claimed on a 2020 tax return. Here's the example. You had a federal 2020 tax return filed with IRS. Your unemployment benefits was $9,000. Your total tax bill was $5,000, of which $4,000 was taxes on the unemployment benefits. You're getting back a check of $4,000. Congratulations. One viewer has already gotten $2,000. So next, how are you going to get it? In the mailbox, that old thing, that thing on the curb, not the email inbox, the mailbox on the curb. IRS is sending it to your mailbox unless you have a direct deposit account with IRS. We'll look for a beige or white envelope. Inside is a beige check from Department of Treasury IRS to you. Subject line, refund. Then when? IRS has now identified 3 stages. Stage 1 was finished this week. Stage 2 has already started and ends in the middle of this week. And Stage 3 is later next week. All 3 stages are finished by the end of May. So everyone's paid in the month of May. So what's stage 1? Stage 1 is single filers, non-complex returns, no dependents, and no refunds otherwise on that return. Stage 2 are complex single filers, and stage 3 are joint filers. All right, there you go. And with that, I am just so excited to deliver you this incredible, jaw-dropping, great news. There is not one, but 3 items of great news. And what I want to do is I want to go chronologically through them because there's so much happening here, and it's all great news about your fourth stimulus check, that multiple stimulus check. Let's start with that name I told you, remember, earlier in the video, Jalapal. When Jalapal wrote the House bill that provides those monthly stimulus checks, starting with $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for pandemic plus 1 year. When Jalapal wrote that House bill, the House bill got the signature support in a letter by 100+ House members and senators as well, saying, you got to do this. This is wonderful. At the same time, we had senators write a separate letter saying that we're putting 4 stimulus checks in there. If the House doesn't put them in there, we're going to make sure it gets done and it's a law. So the senators then did that. Well, what did Jalapal do this week? Jalapal wrote this letter, and this letter was also signed by dozens of House members. The letter is to Speaker Pelosi and Leader Schumer, and it says basically one message: call the vote. Don't wait around any longer. This is incredible. Basically saying, don't wait any longer for the Republicans. Call the vote on the reconciliation. Here's what you need to know. We all know that the vote would be by July 4th, but Jalapal is basically saying, The Republicans haven't come up a penny since this whole process started. They have always been at $500 billion. What are we sitting around for? And the president has not come down a dollar. So it's time to call the vote. It's incredible, great news. That was how the end of the week started. Then yesterday, the news got even better when this letter came out. And this letter was written by 7 House members from a key committee and their letter to the president was, we're going to put multiple stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. What subcommittee is it? The subcommittee that does stimulus checks. Oh my goodness. The House Ways and Means Committee is the most important House subcommittee for purposes of stimulus. They do unemployment, they do stimulus checks, they do stimulus payment items, and they are singly the most important committee. If there was to be multiple stimulus checks provided to you by senators, they would do it during the vote-a-rama, the final 2 days when there's amendments in the Senate. If they were to be done by House members, it's to be done by these people. House Ways and Means Committee. It's not a particularly large committee, and 7 of them wrote a letter to the president saying, we're putting multiple stimulus checks in there. Oh my goodness. And let's make very clear, multiple, not one, multiple. Oh my goodness. And when I say multiple, I mean, every month. I don't mean, 1 and then 2 and then that's multiple. They use the word reoccurring. Incredible. And then the day continued late Friday with the President of the United States coming in and saying, you know what, my fourth stimulus proposal has been three point, I don't know what it was. 2.3 trillion. I'll come down $600 billion because I made a mathematical miscalculation. 600 billion of the money is already in some other bills. So I'll just come down 600 billion, which is sort of like that letter and then you after it. The reason why is because the Republicans haven't come up a penny. So the president's not coming down a penny. And what's important to know is that that's the end. That's the end. Basically, it's time to, the vote is looming. So what is now happening is the following. The president has made very clear to his legislators that by Memorial Day weekend, which is in May, it's not in September, that's Labor Day. By Memorial Day weekend, the president will end any further talks with the Republicans. He's having these daily lunches with them. He says, hi, how are you? Any counteroffer? No. Okay, see you tomorrow. And as one viewer says, he's just hungry. He just wants the lunch, but he's doing it for optics. He's just having a daily meeting and they're not going anywhere. And he'll stop it on the day, he'll stop it right before Memorial Day weekend. And at that point, then we're going into the vote. He's made very clear to the legislators, we're going to the vote at that point. What's important to understand is that the two-step, 2-month process for fourth stimulus has already nearly finished drafting the subcommittees, we have been told. So this is absolutely incredible, great news. And if it was any more better than this, in a rare occurrence, because this doesn't usually happen, legislators have now come forward and actually spoken to press about the updates of where they are on the situation. They usually don't give updates. They usually just do the bill and then just say, here, vote. But they're coming forward. And what did they say? They said, we're not waiting around for Republicans anymore. We're ready to do the vote. It's just, the news just keeps on getting better and better. And it's starting with Kristen Gillibrand, who is the Democrat out of New York. And when asked whether Democrats should wait for the Republicans any longer, just call the vote, she says, absolutely not. Because Democrats may lose our coalition for human infrastructure. I do not think the White House should relegate recovery to the judgment of Mitch McConnell, because McConnell will not function in good faith. Then Ruben Gallego, Democrat out of Arizona, says Republicans are not even being players and Democrats should just move on without them, meaning finish the reconciliation vote. And there came Mark Pocan, a Democrat out of Wisconsin, who says, at what point do Republicans seriously come to the table? If Republicans don't come to the table, it doesn't mean Democrats don't serve the meal. And of course, the meal is your fourth stimulus. And then came Senator Majority Whip Dick Durbin, who says Democrats ought to have a timely negotiation with the Republicans, but be prepared to call for the vote for the reconciliation. Wow. And then finally, Ro Khanna, the Democrat out of California representative, says, I think Democrats should just move forward on our bill. I don't think it can be any more obvious than that. And that's the incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. But guess what? I got another update for you, another big surprise. It's coming up after the commercial break. Oh, yeah, your head's going to spin on this one. You're going to be like, what? That's incredible. So stay with me. It's coming up after the commercial break. But first, if you need help with rent, utilities, homeowners assistance, or internet, reach out to the volunteers. They're viewers just like you. They're on the community page. Where's the community page? It's in the description to this video. Open the description. You'll see an emoji. Then it'll say community page with an emoji of a house. Then it'll say community page. It sends you to news.la.com/community. On that webpage will be a picture of some cats, and down on the page will be the volunteers, separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Reach out to them, they'll be able to help you. And I'm excited for what was still coming up in the second half of this recording. In 60 seconds, I have big breaking news still coming up, so stay with me. And I'll see you in about 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Mornings LALATE. I'm really excited for you on this big morning with incredible details still unfolding about your fourth stimulus check of 2021 and your fifth stimulus package. That's coming up in the second half of this recording. I'm really excited for you. This is LALATE. Make sure you subscribe. 400,000 subscribers in a year, now heading to 1 million. Subscribe. I want you part of this channel. Also like this video and consider becoming a member. Let's get to the exciting great news, starting with fifth stimulus right now. Fifth stimulus starts in the fall. It's a two-bill, two-step process, just like fourth stimulus, going by recon, starting in September, and it changes your life. So let's go over the details. Fifth stimulus would provide that SSI reform, but it's more than just SSI. It's also for everyone else. Let me go over the details. It would raise your benefit limits, then remove the asset limit, add an inflationary benchmark. Then it would remove the income exclusion and then remove the marriage penalty. Let me go over the details and limits, and then I'll go over the breaking news on this as well. So whose benefits gets raised? Yours do. So if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, or multiple benefits, you're going to get raised up to a big new number. Congratulations. Then they're going to attach a benchmark, and that benchmark is inflation. What's a benchmark? A benchmark is the following. Every December you get a letter that says, next year your benefits are going to go up this. It's based upon the benchmark. So your benchmark is going to be inflation. It's great news. Now, over the last few weeks, and we're going to go over this all the way into December, we're going to see where that benchmark is going to land. And it's hard to figure out where inflation is going to be in December. We initially were told 2 to 3%. It doesn't look like it's going to be that way. A week ago today, one analyst came out and said 20%. Then 2 days ago, one chairman of the Federal Reserve out of Georgia said, I'm not going to tell you the inflationary rate, but I'll tell you the growth rate. And we're currently at 4.5% and we'll be at 10.5% in December. Wow. Incredible, great news. And then we saw in the last 24 hours where analysts came out and said, it may be about 4 to 6%. That's great news for you, because if you are waiting for that benchmark to kick in December, which you will be, you'll look and let's see how this would work. First, they're going to raise up your benefits under fifth stimulus. Then in December, they're going to get ready to apply the first benchmark, the first year of the benchmark. If inflation is, let's say, 5%, you'll jump up 5%. Remember, benchmarks only step up or stay the same. So you'll go up 5% additionally lifetime. And then next year it's 2%, you go up another 2%. It's incredible, great news. Let's go over the other items of fifth stimulus. They're going to remove the asset cap. So if you want to stay on benefits, you can, and also keep more than $3,000 on hand. It's necessary now that the stimulus checks are coming. The asset cap is dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't keep more than $3,000 on hand. For some of you, it's going to go away. Then they're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and also stay on benefits. That's going to go away. So if you want to work $1,000, $2,000 a month, you can stay on benefits. And finally, they're going to remove the marriage penalty. So if you want to marry, you can marry and not lose benefits. And if you are married, you'll be able to keep benefits. It's incredible, great news. Love is going to win. So when would fifth stimulus heat up? It would heat up in September, likely to impact your benefits around October-ish, November-ish, and then the step up would kick in, of course, next January. Incredible, great news. So let's go back to fourth stimulus. And I told you I had another surprising detail for you that was also a shocker that happened late on Friday. What is in fourth stimulus and what is not in fourth stimulus? As reported earlier in this recording, the fourth stimulus will not bring back rental stimulus. So eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance going away, rent assistance not coming back. But how about unemployment stimulus? Oh, yes. The big shocker is that the letter from those legislators surprised everyone, including me, where I told you I did not think unemployment stimulus was going to come back on a fourth stimulus. They said they're going to try to put it in there. Wow. They're going to try to put federal unemployment stimulus back into the fourth stimulus. It's incredible, great news. Now, let me explain to you that this is still very fluid. We don't know the situation on this one at all yet. FPUC is different than the other items. FPUC is voluntary. So if a state does not want to do FPUC, it does not have to do FPUC. But PEUC, where the federal government provides additional weeks of unemployment benefits to recipients and the federal government pays for it, and PUA, where the federal government provides unemployment assistance to non-employees, but sole practitioners, gig workers like Uber and Lyft. I don't know what the Department of Labor is going to say, whether the states have to roll that out if it's a federal law. And I have a feeling that the federal legislators, Congress, is going to try to make it non-voluntary, which will totally change the situation. So I don't know if FPUC could come back, because we currently know that it is currently voluntary, but there is a possibility they could absolutely make the other federal items non-voluntary, which would absolutely ensure that you get them even in red states. So let's get back to fourth stimulus checks. The great news is that we now have a letter from Jalapal say call the vote right now. We have the legislators saying call the vote right now. And there's a new twist I want to make very clear, which I haven't made clear until I think I first mentioned last night, which is that these legislators don't want to be around. They don't want to be in town in July. They don't want to be in town in July. Speaker Pelosi says the vote by July 4th, but they don't want to be around in town in July. They don't even want to be in town by the late June. They want to be out of town and off on their vacation. So there is the possibility, because of their own self-interest, because of them and their own vacations, that they may call the vote in late July. And if they do, that would mean an extra stimulus check. It's important to understand that that is where we're heading. Now what's important to understand is that by Thursday and Friday this week, broadcast media was running the letter now saying we're putting stimulus checks in there and signing all these prior occurrences from Jalapal's House bill for the multiple stimulus checks to the senators saying here is where the multiple stimulus check coverage is. It's incredible, great news. Finally, it's very important to understand that there's a lot of things happening in July. And every sporadic moment I have someone say, well, the checks that are coming in July are for the children. No, that's third stimulus. And I know it's very complicated because there's so many stimulus packages at this point. But the third stimulus is the checks coming in July. This is a fourth stimulus check video, not a third stimulus check video. But every day I still have one viewer that asks that. That's why membership is helpful, or at least subscribe to this channel so you don't miss anything. It's also important to understand that July has not less than three major bills that we call three major things that are happening. First, the children's check from third stimulus lands in July. Also in July, the fourth stimulus will be finalized, if not before then. Also in July, the House has to approve the budget bill, which has nothing to do with stimulus. And we also have a lot of standalone bills. And guess what also is July? The end of the session for congressional leaders. So there's going to be a lot of July bills. Don't think you'll see one on the table and say, oh, no, that's the wrong bill you're looking at. Moreover, Jalapal has a lot of bills. So don't look at another Jalapal bill and get confused with this Jalapal bill. So I understand it's easy to get confused. And that's why I want you to subscribe. This is LALATE. And boy, coming up next is Crypto Live Mornings Edition. It was a hit show overnight. Let's see if it's again another hit show. I want you to tune in. I'll be going over price points, market fluctuations, and why there was 2 crypto crashes this week as I predicted, and how I've also warned you we are not at the bottom yet of the industry. People are tuning in because I'm getting incredible in-depth coverage across the entire industry like you've never seen before. So tune in for Crypto Live coming up next, morning's edition. Then we go into noontime at 11 a.m. Subscribe. Also like this video and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.